the overall day was a bit of a topsy-turvy ride. Of course, the day of budget, and we were expecting there won't be much as far as the announcements go. But nonetheless, there were some important indications given, at least with respect to the government's intent for managing the fiscal consolidation, and that was the key highlight today. We did not have a good handover to begin with, but still we opened at a level of around 21,800. But from there, we saw a bit of a slide, and by the end of the trading session, the Nifty is actually below the mark of 21,700. But it wasn't completely down and out. There were pockets that were actually outperforming, especially the small cap index will come up for you on the screen. That was one space that was actually doing better than rest of the markets because that index was in the green. You also had Nifty Bank that was actually doing better than the rest of the markets, and that was actually fueled by the kind of move that we saw in the PSU banking names, starting with SBI itself. To add to that list, PNB, Punjab Sind Bank, Central Bank. Those were some of the names that will come up for you on the screen, and all of these stocks actually managed to gain ground. Followed the big effect that we saw in the bond market, when the yields have hit the lowest level since June 19 of 2023. We saw that the yields dipped to the level of 7.04, and that gave you a bit of a mark-to-market impact as far as some of these treasury incomes of PSU banks are concerned. So some of those stocks were holding up in the green. The advance decline ratio wasn't as healthy as one would have liked it to be. There were more declines on NSE versus the advances, but then there were pockets within which actually held out, and those were of course the reactions coming in either to results or the kind of announcements that we saw. Case in point, because the government made big bank announcements in the sense of how the exports are likely to go up for aquaculture. Dairy was another area of interest where the finance minister spoke about how they're looking at increasing the income, providing the financial support which was needed. So some of those dairy stocks were also in focus. We were also watching out for Godrej Consumers, for instance. Of course, the results were a positive surprise that the street really liked. Plus, the entire possibility of a rural spur is something that kept that stock excited. Can't say the same about Paytm, can I? The kind of declines that we saw on Paytm, and not just the decline today, the kind of sell orders that you can see and the way the stock was locked in lower circuit throughout gives you an indication that perhaps tomorrow too we can see a bit of a slide as far as that stock is concerned. So overall, it was a day where, of course, budget announcements took center stage. The fiscal consolidation and the deficit number at 5.1% was the big surprise. The fact that the government kept on track with the capex announcements. Yes, the rate of growth has come down to 11% versus 25-30% that we had seen over the last 3-4 years. But it's still a very healthy number of 11.11 lakh crore, and that's the reason some of those capex facing stocks were in focus. So that's how we are ending the trading session today. Nifty in the green, Nifty Bank and some of the other pockets in the red.